Our fleet has approximately 2,200 vehicles. As we did see our auto liability claims continue to increase, we started to focus on our drivers as opposed to the outside elements. In an effort to go ahead and start to bring those costs down, we started to look for other solutions, and that's what ultimately brought us to DriveCam. What we started seeing was a lot of poor driving behaviors, which we were able to start addressing with those drivers. And through the coaching process, through that 90-day period, we actually saw a reduction of about 90% in coachable incidents. A common way to look at safety issues really is you can either look at trailing indicators or leading indicators. And trailing indicators, obviously the incident's already happened, and they're great from a standpoint of going through and kind of doing a recreation and talking specifically with that employee. But you'd much rather go ahead and look at leading indicators, because those are identifying the behaviors that you're having. It's being able to take those consistent problems that are being identified across the population and addressing those with drivers, whether or not they've actually had an incident yet or not. And that was the primary reason that we really chose DriveCam, because we were able to say, we can take this and start cutting things off at the beginning as opposed to the end. The things that we did start to identify were the fact that we did have a significant problems with people wearing seat belts. We also had a significant problem with following too close and rolling stops. We had a claim that took place back in 2001 where a 12-year-old girl was struck by a vehicle that the county owned and was killed. And one of the biggest elements that took place in the trial was whether or not the individual was on a cell phone when the accident took place. And we looked at DriveCam and said this would absolutely answer that question. The person themselves were never disciplined because we couldn't document the fact that they had been on a cell phone call or not, but that would really clear up a lot of those issues. This fiscal year, we have seen somewhere in the vicinity of about a 35 to 40% reduction in accidents. And with the exception of one somewhat shock loss auto accident claim that we had, we would be seeing a 74% reduction in total cost of accident. When we initially implemented the pilot program, one of our unions was very verbally opposed to it. Since they have seen the results, we haven't heard anything from them negative after that point. The focal point is not so much the cameras themselves, it's the fact that they've had people doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing, and they're having to pay the consequences of that. We had a fire truck that was driving through an intersection, had a green light, doing 20 miles an hour. They were virtually almost all the way through the intersection and were T-boned by another vehicle. The two people within the vehicle immediately got out, claimed that we had run the red light. There were no witnesses to the actual incident that took place. Florida Highway Patrol responded, and we were actually able to send the video to Florida Highway Patrol, which clearly showed that our fire truck had the green light, was actually well within the speed limit. As a result, Florida Highway Patrol cited the other individuals, and now they're responding with the damage to our vehicle, which is pretty significant. It was over $50,000. Although you may look at the initial number from a high investment dollar standpoint, the return that you will ultimately see will far outweigh it, and you will also go ahead and see the fact that your driver behavior will dramatically change, and you will start to see your accidents decrease significantly in a very, very short time period. It is well worth the investment, and it's a fantastic product.